Welcome everybody to Adam's Polishes Wednesday Live. Just give us a thumbs up emoji if audio sounds good. I know last week we had a lot of complaints last week, and I get it. I had left the microphone at my house, so if there's anyone to blame, it's myself. And also, I just want to say something really quick. On YouTube, I researched it for about 2 hours this morning. There's no way to go landscape or horizontal when we shoot it on a phone. And generally we do this on phone. So only when we set up like a bunch of cameras and like a live stream through a computer can we shoot it horizontal. So for everybody that wants it horizontal, I apologize. I wish it could be like that too, because I'm a traditionalist, but when we shoot on the phone here, it's gotta be vertical. So if anything, switch to your phone or iPad or something, and it's going to be a lot easier to view. But anyways, today I was actually out here looking for cars on something to do for the live, and Scott, who he's like the intake person, so any incoming inventory here to the warehouse, Scott is the guy for it, and he counts all the inventory, everything. He's amazing, really great employee, really nice guy. And so I've been talking to him here and there, like over the weeks. He's like, when are you going to work on my car on the live? When are you going to work on my car? And I'm like, I swear I'm going to get to it. I promise. So I was out here looking, and he's like, hey, you said you're going to do my car. And I was like, well, is this supposed to be black or gray? And he's like, it was black when I got it. And I was like, perfect. Let's do black trim restorer on this, because it's like the perfect car for that. So, there's also a lot of like other areas on the car that need this product, which I will end up finishing for him. But today for the live, I'll just focus on this area, and maybe during some of when we're like letting it dry and cure and stuff, we'll go touch some other things. But just for today, I think for this process is probably targeted more to like older cars. So cars that have been exposed to the sun for extended periods of time, and this is starting to oxidize, it fades, turns gray if it was supposed to be black. And so this is a great example, and you can kind of see like his door handle not being directly pointed to the sun, it still retains some of the black color. But when you look at this rear step as well as this portion, it looks like we've actually done some 50-50 in here a long time ago. So the whole thing needs to be restored. So we'll work on the step, and then we'll move into this back kind of plastic piece down here. So and I don't know, I don't even think we really need to do anything to this handle. But yeah, so today
we'll see once we see how black the
yeah, exactly,
the restored portion
gets. So this is black trim restorer, or essentially like how to make old plastic look new again is kind of like what we're working on. And there's things you can do, like you can put VRT on this, it will make it look a little bit darker and dress, but it won't fully restore the color. And that's why we have this product, Black Trim Restorer, is to feed the surface color. Now I just want to say, if you guys are new to the live, we do it every Wednesday, 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, whatever 1 o'clock is in Colorado. We are live. We usually do it for an hour. Sometimes it gets extended into an hour and a half. So just a live video that gives you kind of access to us to answer questions. So not only is this, I usually choose a topic to work on and talk about it, but I also answer any questions that people have about detailing. So if you have questions about polishing, ceramic coating, any of that stuff, I'm more than willing to answer. And I would say, if you're not following us or subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, because it always notifies you on your homepage of YouTube when we're live, but also when we launch new videos, which the last 14 weeks we've been launching a video every Thursday. So I have another one slated for this Thursday coming up, so which is tomorrow. So
what's the difference between Black Trim Restorer and ceramic Black Trim Restorer?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. So right off the bat, what's the difference between Black Trim Restorer and ceramic Black Trim Restorer? So
Wendy.
Thanks for the question, Wendy. So they're similar products, but ceramic Black Trim Restorer is essentially combining the protection of the ceramic with the dye of the Black Trim Restorer. So it's kind of a one-step. but it can be kind of finicky on certain plastics. So as much as I like that product, I've actually had a few issues with it. So I tend to stick to the traditional black trim restore. I think for me, I like the idea of the full process where you clean it, you restore it or dye it back to the color, and then after that fully cures, then protect over the top of it. So I won't get into the protecting part. I'll talk about it, but I won't have, it will be too short of a time for me to ceramic coat over this. Like I need to wait until tomorrow to then ceramic coat over the restored plastic. So I'll briefly talk about it, but I'm not actually going to do it in this video because that black trim restore needs an extended period of time to really like seep into the plastic and restore it. So
Do you need to avoid water?
you definitely need to avoid water when you're doing this process. So and just so you guys know, we learned the hard way because we actually got, so a lot of Jeep Wranglers come with huge plastic fenders over both sets of tires. And we did the kind of marketing video, I guess you could call it, more like how-to video for this product on a Jeep Wrangler. And we put it on there, we parked it outside, and sure enough, it was, I think it was fall time maybe, where, it was hot during the day, cold during the night. So it generated dew onto the whole car. There's just, morning dew on everything. That morning dew essentially diluted the black trim restore that was still curing on the surface, and it made it blotchy, like really bad. So we had to bring it back in, clean it up again, re-restore it, and then we learned that you need to leave it inside in a dry climate so the moisture doesn't happen, and you need to let it cure for, I'd probably give it 12 hours, which seems like a long time, but kind of like an overnight process, or do it in the morning, like 9 a.m., and then it should be good by, 7 or 8 type of thing. So, so I tend to like let it do its thing. But also with this product, some plastic can be so far gone that you need to repeat the same step to ensure that the color is restored. So we'll see once we get into this, like how badly this plastic needs it. But as I talk more about it, I'll just jump into the first step. Well, first step is cleaning the car. So I already washed the car. And then I have all my stuff ready to go. So for applicators, we got the kind of ceramic applicators that you would use to apply a graphene ceramic coating. Suede, yeah. And one thing I actually need to do is I need to undo this. I think almost all of our 4-ounce bottles come with a cap in it. This, and by the way, it's like the hardest thing to get out. So bear with me.
Do you want to talk about avoiding getting it on your clothing?
Yeah, I would avoid, this will stain your clothing. So I think it's actually a good day because I wore all black, so you might not notice it as bad. But yeah, and also before I start this here in a second, I'm going to run in and grab some gloves because I already got this on my, already stained my hands, which is fine. I don't care. I got detailer's hands, and I buy my nails, so they're like the ugliest hands and fingers in the industry. So first things first is you want to clean this. You want to remove as much oxidation from this as possible, and the product you use for that is tire and rubber cleaner. So in this case, because this is a bigger, broader surface, both on this piece down here and the step, I'm just going to spray this directly on. And tire and rubber cleaner is very much safe for your paint. It's not going to damage your paint. So I'll just take this and I'm going to work in halves because the sun just came out, so it's getting a little bit more hot. And then I take my Edgeless utility towel. And by the way, this is the best towel for this job because it's a woven microfiber, so it's not going to lint as I use to scrub this. So we take this and we're going to start scrubbing this the best we can. And I would say, if your plastic looks okay, you don't feel like you need to do this step, just do this step anyways. You want to remove any sort of oxidation whatsoever from the surface. And so I'm going side to side this way, so like driver's side to passenger side, to get in the grooves and on the top of these they're not really indentations, but extrusion, is that like the right word, Chris? And then I'm gonna go up and down to go in between the textured, looks like dots, like that old candy you would get where they had like dots on the piece of paper. That just shows you how old I am. But
I used to eat those too.
so you can see a lot of I don't know if you can see it in camera, but
Yeah, the brown.
yeah, it's like the gray. It's like gray oxidation coming off. So once you get the oxidation into the towel, you want to move to a fresh side of the towel. So actually what I'm going to do is spray that same section and do it again. Just spray a little bit in the towel.
Anton says tic-tac-toe pattern.
Yeah, I like that, Anton. Tic-tac-toe pattern.
And Broncos 88 says, can you guys make a live on preparing for a ceramic coating?
Oh, yeah. You know what? Somebody mentioned that last time. Yeah, Broncos 88 said, can you make a live on preparing for a ceramic coating? Definitely. It's pretty, I think in my mind it's a simple process, but there's definitely some stuff to do for that. So yes, I will do that. Next week, that's actually a good live for next week. So less oxidation coming off of it. Still a little bit, but I think that's probably good. So I'll move over to this side over here. Hope everyone had a good Father's Day weekend. I've stated on here multiple times that I'm a golf fanatic, so I actually, my son had a birthday party he had to attend from 11:30 to 2:30, which I mean is great, whatever. But I actually sat on the chair in my living room and watched the U.S. Open for about 5 hours, which I can't remember the last time I was able to sit and watch a major championship in golf for that long. So it was kind of fun.
Said, who else is watching the Euro Championship?
Yeah.
I don't actually know which sport that is, but
the Euro Championship, that's soccer. And actually, Anise, the guy who like runs our Amazon channel upstairs in our marketing office, he has it on right now. So he played soccer, so he's very much in tune with that. So yeah, Euro Championships. That's, hey man, European soccer is big money. But nobody beats the GOAT, Cristiano Ronaldo.
How often do you have to use black trim restore?
How often do you need to use black trim restore? I think like once you've done it and you get it ceramic coated, you don't have to do it as much. That's why it comes in a 4-ounce bottle. It's like, it's not necessarily like a one-time job, but like once you've done it and you ceramic coat, it's gonna last for a very long time, especially if you take care of it. Like if you clean your car regularly and you dress it with like VRT, graphene VRT, it will really help it. But this is the reason why it's so gray now is because it's been neglected. It never had any dressing on it whatsoever. So the sun just beats down on it and just oxidizes it and takes that color away. So yeah, once you have it restored and then you ceramic coat over the top of it, I think it generally like lasts quite a bit of time. Because I think most of the, with black trim restore, you're reinstating the black color, but then with the ceramic coating, you're locking that in, for a long time. So, sorry, Ken Wilson. Oh, you know what? Let me just say this before you ask Ken Wilson a question. Ken Wilson has emailed me twice, and I still need to respond to him. But I know that he's going to be here August 28th, I think it is. And so Ken wanted to do a live, like in person, to have someone here. So for anybody that's interested, August 28th, Ken's going to be here, and we're going to do like an in-person live. So he'll be here. And if anybody else wants to come, that you're local and hang out, and almost do like an in-person clinic that we film live, feel free to do that. So Ken, I'm sorry I haven't responded yet. I kind of been all over the place, but I will respond hopefully after this live, and if not, tomorrow for sure.
Yeah, he was just saying when I come in August, how about a live about either brake caliper paint kit or detailing a car that's been on a road trip.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I actually, you know what, Ken? I like the brake caliper one. We have that kit. We don't talk about it very much. And that's actually, I did that on the video that we released for that. I did that on my wife's old car, and it was awesome. Like, it worked really good. So the problem with it is it takes a really long time. So there's a lot of like cure time and waiting that, you know, I don't necessarily want to throw on some elevator music for the people watching the live and they just sit there and watch nothing. So
You mean like our lovely free live
yeah,
wave music when we stream off of the computer?
exactly. Okay, I think that's good like that. Let me grab these. So probably Ken, I'd probably say, you know, I think he's driving, so might be good.
Like
Ken, please don't wash your car when you are driving out here. I think that's a good one, like what to do after a road trip or during a road trip might even be that much better, because there's actually some really cool options for that. Like you can bring you could have a bucket with you that you store things in, but when it's time to wash it, you could actually do like a hoseless wash, which is super effective, especially for a road trip. So you can like really minimize the amount of products you bring and all of that. So you don't need to bring wash pads, you don't, just towels, and you can bring a bag and a bucket. That's about it. Okay.
Kyle Shelby says, cool, great idea, talking about the live clinic essentially.
Okay.
He said, do a burger cookout with the live edition.
Yeah, that sounds great. Hey man, I can throw down on the grill if you guys want. I love grilling food. And by the way, I have like a traditional Weber grill. That's what I grew up on. So my dad. So straight charcoal. Control the temp with the vents and airflow. Works out pretty good. Okay, so you can kind of see, and actually this feels a lot better. Like this feels like more plasticky, rubbery, especially with my gloves on. You can see some of the darkness of it is coming back a little bit. Okay, and that's just, we got that sort of layer of oxidation off the top of it, which makes the Black Trim Restore go on better, like go on perfect. So now what we do is I'll just shake the Black Trim Restore a little bit, take my applicator, and I work a little bit at a time. I don't want to like glob it up and put it everywhere. I like working in a little bit more thin layers, so just about that much. I mean, it's not very much at all. Set this aside so it doesn't, I have left this open like this and set it down, and it's fallen over and spilt it sprayed me with Black Trim Restore. So make sure you close that and set it aside. And I do recommend, like, if you have a cart at home or at your shop, or like I have this step stool that I'm using as a seat, and then I have a place to set things. So I would recommend doing that. So now we take this, and now it's just a matter of getting it as even as possible onto here. And you'll see it just instantly.
Nathan says, I think I should retire from my job and work for Adams in the same manner Joe does. You guys hiring?
Yeah, if you want, man. You can take my job, then I can go play golf.
He says you need an East Coast rep.
Yeah, right? We need reps we need reps all over the world, to be honest. So what I'm trying to do is, as I apply this, I'm trying to go around, as Anton would say, these tic-tac-toe pieces, to try to get everything, so get it all the way behind here. And I don't know if Scott has stuff exposed in the back of his trunk. This is why I didn't open this, but I would open this up so I have full access to everything. And probably after the live I will. I just don't, if he has, I don't know, personal items, guns. I'm sure he doesn't have guns, but
Bodies.
Yeah, bodies, as Chris would come in with his dark humor, but
Dark Dark humor is the best humor.
Yeah. So now what I'm trying to do is just, I kind of made a 50-50 so you can see the effect of what we've done here. And now I'm just trying to even this out kind of the best I can. Because I want this to go on fairly thin. I feel like when it goes on a little bit more thin, it cures more thin. And then what I can do is then, as the black trim restorer starts to seep into the pores of the plastic, I will know if I need to do it again. So it's actually kind of having the sun here helping bring out the moisture of the black trim restorer. It helps it cure a little bit faster. So not to say that I planned that, but I would say if you're doing this, you know, you could have your car like halfway in, but if you had it exposed to open air while you're doing it, helps it cure a little bit faster. I can see it's like already drying and kind of going in. But I think ideally what you want to do is do this inside in temperature control, and especially when you're letting it cure over the long time. Like, so let it cure for 6 to 12 hours. I know it's like double or whatever, but 12 hours is ideal, 6 hours is okay. But I would say, like, I would let this sit. I'm not going to right now, but I would let this sit for about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. Check it and see how well the color is restored. And if it's not fully like where I want it to go, I would just do another layer of this, if that makes sense. Do you guys mind if I do I'm gonna ask everybody, you guys mind if I do the rest of this step, or do you want to keep seeing the 50-50?
Kyle, while we're waiting for them to answer, Kyle says, could you use VRT with this same effect as the black trim restorer?
No. So Kyle, that's a good question. So Kyle essentially said, can you use VRT to the same effect as this black trim restorer? The answer is no, because VRT doesn't have any dye in it. It's not going to actually like restore color back into faded plastic. VRT is more for newer plastic that has not faded yet, or restored plastic that the color has been restored into it. So VRT is a dressing. It will darken certain things, but it's also not something that's intended to last for a long time. It's like sort of putting lipstick on the plastic of your car. Like, it makes it look really nice, but the next time you wash it, you're gonna have to redo it again. So black trim restorer feeds the plastic color, plastic or rubber, black color, and then when you ceramic coat on top of it, it locks that in. So I would say, like, if you want something that's long lasting and you have newer plastic, like this piece right here, okay? So you can see, like, this is very gray. This is now turning more, it's like dark gray, but more black. This doesn't need to be restored. So what I would do is I would clean this with tire and rubber cleaner, and then I would put ceramic coating on top of that to lock in the color and make it easier to clean. And then if you wanted to, like, give it a little bit of sheen or a little bit of a look, then you can put VRT on top of the ceramic coated plastic that you did. So I hope that's a decent answer for you.
And they're saying do the rest.
Do the rest? Okay. I was actually going to do this really quick too. I think this portion is going to actually come out better because it wasn't as oxidized as the other piece.
Bob says, is it best practice to use excuse me, to use strip wash before doing a ceramic coat? I use H2O garden gloss as a drying aid, and that's all that's on the vehicle.
Sorry, say that again.
Should you strip wash a vehicle before coating it if you've been using H2O garden gloss?
Yeah, I would say yeah. I mean, I think anytime you're not using a ceramic product, it's good to do a strip wash. And if anything, like the strip wash, and that was requested as a video for next week, so I'll talk about that. But I tend to, cars that I personally have not been taking care of, so like family members' cars or clients' cars, I tend to use strip wash in the foam can. And I'm also really sensitive to strip wash. Like, my skin, it doesn't do well with it. But I don't know how they've been taking care of their cars. And if they're not a single owner, like it was a car from previous owner, I don't know how they were taking care of it either. So I like to strip wash it just to make sure I start with sort of like a clean slate. and then clay it, and then get into the ceramic coating. I just think it's, not to say the strip wash would even remove H2O garden gloss. I'm almost positive it would. But I think it's just good practice to do, you know. And that's sort of when we get into next week of preparing for a ceramic coating, like what to do. That's one step I will use is strip wash out of the foam cannon, and then I use car shampoo out of the bucket because I can't have strip wash exposed to my hands for very often. I could use gloves, but I know like I'm putting my hands in and rubbing grit guards, and the strip wash would get into my gloves, and it would be awful. I would have to take a week off and go golfing every day of that week, but
What a travesty.
yeah. So I don't know, maybe that is a good idea.
You'd be so disappointed to have to golf for a week.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Listen, I'm not that one-dimensional. Like, I like fishing too. I really enjoy spending time with my kids. They make my day every single day. They're just amazing. My son's Little League season just ended on Saturday, which was...
worry about getting this on paint? Sorry to interrupt.
Do I need to worry about getting this on paint? Absolutely. Just like that. It's going to ruin it forever.
It's going to eat a hole in it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you have a white car and you want to turn it black, this is the product for you. No, you don't need to worry about it.
And you want to use 50 bottles of it?
Yeah. The thing about it is if you get it onto paint, it just wipes off instantly. So you just take like this is like the towel I'm going to use to level this product off. You just go over the part where you got it onto the paint, and you just wipe it off, and it comes off perfect. So no, it doesn't matter if you get it on paint. It was designed that way too. And it's, that's again why like you need to let this cure for a long time, because you're trying to let the dye in the delivery method. So essentially what this is, there's a vehicle agent that holds the dye, and it goes onto the surface, and then once it's on the surface and exposed to the air, then the vehicle agent starts to flash off of it. I think it's probably water-based if I had to guess. I don't know the technical vehicle agent for this. But like ceramic coating is solvent, so it like flashes off after you've applied it. And so after that's flashed off, then it gives the dye a chance to seep into the plastic. And that's why we talk about letting it cure. So you're letting probably the water-based formula come out of it, and then the dye sets there and it starts working its way into the plastic. And so, when you're doing this process, if you get it on paint, it's not going to penetrate itself into the clear coat or paint or anything. I would say if there's anything that you'd want to be careful of is if you had single stage paint, like white single stage paint, but for the most part, like most cars that are single stage paint are vintage cars, and they have no plastic on them. They're all chrome plated on the trim and everything. So not something you have to worry about, but I know like my 2008 4Runner has single stage paint, so I would need to be careful, but that's more of like if I put it on and then forgot to wipe it off over an extended period of time.
If I ceramic coat the windows on the inside, do I need to strip it off prior to tinting?
If I ceramic coat the windows on the inside, do I need to strip it off before tinting? 1,000% yes. And I would just say, unless you've already done it, you don't need to ceramic coat windows on the inside. I don't think they are not exposed to rain and elements like that. It's just more cleaning. So yeah, if you haven't, I wouldn't worry about it. But if you have, yes, you need to strip it off, but it's not going to be easy because the ceramic, especially like the graphene ceramic glass coating, I mean, that stuff penetrates the pores of the glass, and it's not necessarily something that you can really like just remove easy. So, but I don't know. I mean, if you've done it already, I would make sure if installers of the tent know that that's been done, and they might have some better suggestions. But yeah, I don't necessarily recommend ceramic coating interior glass. Just want to make sure I get everything. For Scott, I don't want to get yelled at again, you know.
Oh, here he is.
What's up, Scott? There's Scott right there. I was just telling you guys about Scott.
Vampire.
Scott's the he's a champion.
Oh, that is smooth.
Looks a little better, right?
A tad bit. Thank you, sir.
Oh yeah, of course. I still have a lot more I need to do, but this is definitely bringing the color back of your plastic.
He does a good job every once in a while.
Yeah, I guess. Every third Wednesday.
Every third Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Every third.
I love that, dude. That's amazing. I deserve that. Oh man, I look crazy right now, crawling around on the pavement. Oh.
I mean, you look crazy all the time.
Yeah, I do.
No, it's not really.
Okay, there we go. So it's kind of interesting, like this plastic's texture different than this plastic, and so this is more responsive to the coat. It goes on more even. This is more of like a, not necessarily glossy, but like more of a shiny plastic up here. So on shinier plastic, when you do this, it's gonna take longer for it to cure and seep into the plastic. This is more textured, so it goes on a little bit easier. But essentially what I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna wait for a minute.
While you wait, Team Dean Pickleball wants to know if Rinse Aid is safe to use on a Kevlar coated Jeep.
Is Rinse Aid safe to use on a Kevlar coated Jeep? Yeah, I think so.
Like the soft top is Kevlar?
Yeah, I imagine they're talking about that. It's the thing about the Rinse Aid is like you're gonna do it after you've rinsed the car, so it's gonna dilute the product a little bit anyways, but like you have to rinse it off. It may not make the Kevlar hydrophobic. Honestly, we haven't tested that if Rinse Aid works on fabric or not. I know for sure it's gonna work on the painted surfaces or plastic surfaces. But on like soft Kevlar, and maybe they can clarify that for us, but you know, I don't know if it's gonna work. What I would do is use it anyways. And then what I would recommend is use the ceramic spray coating to ceramic coat the Kevlar on there if it is fabric. And the ceramic spray coating is amazing for making fabric hydrophobic. And I would say if you're curious on how to do that or want to see the effect of that, we have a YouTube video on here. I think it's how to apply graphene ceramic coating. The thumbnail for the video is like the advanced graphene ceramic coating bottle, the gold label bottle, on almost like a rainbow of beads. I go through how to apply graphene ceramic coating to a BMW that has a soft top. So I apply the advanced coating onto the paint and plastic. Then I do the graphene glass coating in the little 50 ml bottle onto the windows. And then I do the graphene ceramic spray coating advanced onto the fabric soft top. So you can really see the effect, the water beading effect, but also how you apply it to fabric. So
LJ says, I'm late to the party. What's the blackening product?
the blackening product is, what's up, LJ? Thanks for coming. Black Trimmer Store. So what we did is we cleaned it first with tire and rubber cleaner, and you can actually see LJ. I had two edgeless utility towels, and this edgeless utility towel, I took off as much oxidation as I possibly could. So that's like a lot of the grayish brown in the towel here. And then once I cleaned the plastic and removed the oxidation with tire and rubber cleaner, then I used the suede kind of ceramic coating applicator with the Black Trimmer Store, and I applied it to the surface. And LJ, I would just say, like, after we sign off here, if you go back and watch the beginning of this live video, because it gets posted to our YouTube channel under the live tab on our actual channel, you can see what this looked like before. So you can really see like the effect of before and then after. But what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to waste time so this can cure a little bit. But I was thinking, even if you guys wanted to see, I could go check. This car kind of needs like everything, to be honest with you. And I don't know if there's anything you guys would want to see really quick.
Bob says, how about spray coating a Jeep soft top? How much different of a material would that be than a high-end car top, like the one you were talking about?
It's the same thing. And
same process.
Same process. I would just say the graphene ceramic spray coating has the bits of graphene in it. There's like black flake in it. So like if your bottle's sitting on the shelf, it will look clear. And then when you shake it, it turns grayish black. I would avoid using it on a very light colored fabric. So white, tan, even like a light blue I've seen. Try to keep it on like a charcoal soft top, or black, or even like red works okay, like darker red. But I think on a Jeep, if it's like the black soft top, that it works great on that. And actually, there's a company in Boulder, Colorado called Best Top. They're very well known in the Jeep world. They make soft tops for Jeeps. We were working very closely with them because our ceramic coating or ceramic spray coating was retaining the look of the soft top for a very long time when it was exposed to UV. And they pressed us to try to figure out, they wanted to ceramic coat and treat all of their fabric on the, like before they rolled it up. But because of the cure time takes a little bit longer, and the ability of us to do this was maybe 3 years ago, which we didn't have the capability of doing it. I mean, they wanted it so bad, and I was not necessarily a part of it, but I got to see the results of testing of when they were doing UV testing with the Best Top material, and it was night and day. They actually bought this instrument at the lab over at B&B, and it was UV lights in these panels. So they would essentially like secure a panel to a plate, and they would stick it in this thing, and they would just run UV for like hours upon hours upon hours. And the one that wasn't treated would come out really faded and dull, and the one that was treated with the graphene ceramic coating came out perfect looking. So I know for sure on Best Top, which is I think it's pretty standard. I think they're even like a piece of OEM material, that it works amazing on there. So
Iruka says, are there any circumstances where I would want to use a regular version of a product over the graphene version, or is the graphene simply just the premium version?
You know what? That's like one of the best questions I've had in a long time. Yeah, I think the word graphene on a product doesn't necessarily make it more premium. It just means that we've added reduced graphene oxide to the formula. So essentially what the reduced graphene oxide does is adds a level of protection to whatever product it's put in, or bolsters the protection that's already in that product. So anytime you see graphene, it is a way to, or anytime you see a graphene label, it probably, with the exclusion of one product, it has added protection to it. The one product I'd say that is excluded from that is the graphene shampoo. Graphene shampoo is a unique formula which deep cleans a ceramic coating but doesn't add protection. Whereas graphene VRT, graphene CS3, graphene detail spray, they all have a protection agent to it. And so to answer your question, kind of the first half of the question is, anytime that there is protection added to a product, it can streak when you're using it, especially in direct sunlight. So anytime so essentially what happens is you spray a product with protection in it, like graphene detail spray, for example. If I sprayed it onto this glass, you know what? Let me find some and I'll show you exactly why. Yeah, you can just wait there, Chris. Okay. I couldn't find graphene detail spray, but I could find graphene CS3. So what I'm going to show you right now, so graphene CS3 would be like the closest thing I can find to graphene detail spray. So I'll spray this on here like so, okay? And then I have regular detail spray, okay? I'm going to spray it over here, okay? So we'll just set this here so you can kind of get a sense of that, which product it is. So I purposely just let this kind of, the sun baked it on super fast. Okay, so if I take this plush towel and I wipe the detail spray right here, it wipes off as if nothing was there ever. Okay, that's in the direct sunlight, it bakes on there. You see that? Now when I go to CS3, when I try to wipe it off, all of the protection that's in there, which is SiO2 and silica and reduced graphene oxide, just bakes on there and stays there. So graphene CS3 in the direct sunlight is much more difficult to work with in the direct sunlight. I mean, you have to be very quick about it. So spray it on and wipe it immediately, and it will work almost every time. But in the essence of ease of use for a product, a non-graphene spray and wipe product is going to be a lot easier to use.
Especially in heat and sunlight.
Yeah, and so I think like for me, just this is my own personal take, and I know Adam is in the same boat here. I tend to grab detail spray 99.9% of the time. Like when I'm washing my car, I'm using it as a drying aid because I know that even if it dries on the surface, I can still wipe it off very easily. Whereas if I try to use regular CS3, which has SiO2 or silica, or graphene CS3, even graphene detail spray, which has protection agents in it, it's gonna streak and smudge and all that stuff. And listen,
So then what do you use graphene CS3 for?
So graphene CS3, so CS3 as its own product, the C and the S stand for ceramic spray, and the 3 stands for 3 different things that it does. Okay, so, and I'm gonna be like so transparent right now. So what happened in our industry, and this is a very long answer, which I need to because I'm still letting this cure, but in the car care product industry, ceramic coatings were launched to professionals only. Like CarPro was like a really good, they still are, really good ceramic brand. There were some other ones I can't think of off the top of my head. But anyways, those companies, their model was, we are going to sell this to detailers, and then they will install it into everyday people's cars, right? And then Adams Polishes was like, well, listen, our goal is to bring the best car care products to people at their homes where we know that they can do it, because if we teach them how to do it, they can do it. And so we brought ceramic coating to the market. And so ceramic coatings like our graphene ceramic coating advanced, our graphene ceramic spray coating advanced, and the regular silver label ones are a polysilazane based ceramic coating. And that's what, if you ask most people, a true ceramic coating is a solvent-based polysilazane ceramic coating. That's the one you put on your car, it rainbows, you wait till the rainbow goes away, and then you level it off, okay?
And that includes both our small bottles and spray coatings?
Yes, and early in those early days, when you would put the ceramic coating onto the surface, it would rainbow, but as it was curing, all the crystals would rub against each other and create static electricity, like really bad. Like you could hold your arm up against it and your hair would try to stick to it. And so that caused a problem with dust falling on the car when it was curing. And so after a few hours, what you would do is you would take a boosting agent to help cure it, which we called Ceramic Boost. It was lime green, smelled amazing, smelled like amaretto. And you would spray that on after 3 to 6 hours, and it would essentially stop the static electricity from happening. And that product, the boosting product, was SiO2 or silica. And SiO2 is like, I mean, everybody knows that now. So essentially what happened is silica and polysilazane are 2 different forms of ceramic but they are both technically ceramic. Okay, so silica being SiO2 and being ceramic is a water-based formula. Polysilazane you cannot mix with water or else it doesn't, the whole formula, when you put water and polysilazane together, it turns to jello. It like just can't work. That's why you have to mix it with solvent.
And that's how it cures in the air.
Yeah.
It's reacting with water in the
So
air.
so with this boosting product over here that's silica water-based, what a lot of competitors did is they took that and said like, well, listen, technically it's ceramic. So guess what? We're gonna create this hydro whatever, and it's a ceramic coating. And we're like over here in the corner going like, oh my God, this is gonna be so confusing for people. So now when you go to like brick and mortar stores, there's ceramic everywhere. And not one single one of them is a polysilazane, like a true ceramic coating. They're all silica. And so what happens is, what we did is we're like, well, we have to compete with that. So we made a CS3, which is a ceramic spray with 3 different things it does. One is protect, one is add shine, and one is clean, which is like a waterless wash. So we essentially mixed waterless wash, detail spray, and ceramic boost all into the same product. And if any of you have a 12-ounce bottle of our CS3, you can actually see on the label, give me one second. I know I have one so you can see this because I'm the one who made the label originally. What's up, Aaron? There it is. The original CS3 label, which I'm just describing right now, inside the C says ceramic, inside the S says spray, and then the 1, 2, 3 things is clean, shines, and protects. Okay, so that's what CS3 was. So what CS3 essentially is for people is a waterless wash, a ceramic-based waterless wash. That's all it is. That's all CS3 is it's a way to be able to, if your car is mildly dusty, you can not only clean the dust off, you can add shine, but also protect with the silica that's in that CS3 product. So then it becomes like one of our favorite products because everyone's like, oh my God, I love this product. It beads water when you use it. So then it's like, okay, well, let's add graphene to bolster the silica that's inside this formula to make it last longer. So that's what graphene CS3 is. Then you have graphene detail spray, which is that product, but then you add a touch of silica and reduced graphene oxide. So you get the shine factor, but you get the protection agent to it as well. But again, when you use it in hot sun like this, it just streaks everywhere. So that's why I kind of tend to lean towards regular detail spray all the time because it just, my thing with car care is like, I don't want it to be difficult. I want all of my car care steps to be easy because I always want to take steps forward in the process and never steps backwards. So if I use something that streaks on my car, that means I have to go back and fix it. I want to use something that constantly, I'm always doing something to make progress. And so like with detail spray, using it as a drying aid, it never streaks. So I use that as my drying aid to reduce the chance of getting water spots. But then once I pull my car in and it's inside, then I'll take a protection agent like CS3 or graphene boost or graphene detail spray, and then I'll take my time and go around the car to wipe it down rather than try to do it in the direct sunlight where it's just like impossible, you know? So yeah, anything that has a graphene label on it doesn't mean more premium. It's not like I know like you have like, not to say that everybody drinks, but you have like your standard Maker's Mark bourbon whiskey, and then you have like Maker's Mark 46, which is like a more premium version of it. Or Jack Daniels is the same thing. You have like Jack Daniels and Jack Daniels single barrel. And I don't even drink, so funny I know that. But yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean like Adams Polishes is like the crappy stuff and like that's the good stuff. It just means that if it's in a label like this, which is a matte black label with silver on it, it just has added protection and is bolstered by reduced graphene oxide. So that was like the longest explanation ever, but I had to do it because I was trying to let this cure. And I hope that gives a little bit of insight into the story of of the progression of like how products get developed and all this stuff. I mean, I've been around so long, I've seen it. I've seen the industry shift and move and do all these different things. And, you know, I think like for me being here for so long, I have like these core set of products that I use constantly. And then I try to implement other little things and that like hopefully fit into my like car care lifestyle. And if I like the product, then I keep using it. But detail spray, brilliant glaze, I'm trying to think of car shampoo. It's like a lot of the OG products that we've had for a long time, I still use to this day, but it's kind of like detail spray. I use brilliant glaze really to like clean glass. I don't use glass cleaner. I use detail spray to clean glass, but mainly brilliant glaze to clean the inside of my glass. And then car shampoo, of course, it just has the most lubricity and it's like standard. But, you know, graphene ceramic spray coating advanced, my favorite protection product. I probably won't use anything else other than that. Graphene tire dressing is a new staple in my line. I like the idea of putting it on and it lasts wash to wash. So there's just like a few choice products that I really like. And actually, to be honest with you, we did a live video, I think it was 2 weeks ago, where we talked about like the 5 products everybody needs in their detailing arsenal or car care arsenal. That's a pretty good video. I like products that are versatile, that do a lot of different things.
And the detail spray is our detail spray, not another brand.
Yeah, this is ours, detail spray, Adams Polishes detail spray.
Awesome.
One of the best. It's usually, you know, I call it detail spray, but if you go to a car show, it's, hey, you got the pink stuff. It's like what most people call it. I really want to make a limited detail spray called the pink stuff. And we were going to do it until there's a cool cleaning product on the shelves at the grocery store called pink stuff. So kind of limited. we don't want to get that cease and desist letter, you know? Okay, so what I'm seeing now on this step mainly is in certain areas, it's actually started to go in, but in some areas it's still kind of sitting on the top. And so what I like to do is, can you see that, Chris? Like it's kind of like more heavy right here.
Yeah.
And that could be from application, but what I like to do is I'll take a fresh edgeless utility towel. This is the one I was using to wipe off the paint, like this. And I'll just lightly wipe this. I'm just trying to remove like the excess product.
Level it off.
Yeah, level it off. Essentially what I'm trying to do is get it back to looking what it looked like before, but with the restored color to it, if that makes any sense. And you can see I'm like, I can't remember the seed, but this is like a seed oil dye. So it's like actually red when you pull it off. Actually, it's blue when you put it on and it oxidizes to red. But when we were talking to Chris about it, we are like, can we get this to be black? And he's like, well, technically it is black, but like this shirt, the black dye of this shirt is not actually black. It's like either a blue or a red. It's on either side of the spectrum.
All blacks are essentially just a really dark other color.
Exactly. So don't be alarmed that you have some red coming up into your towel. It's such a thin layer. It's kind of like chocolate, you know, like red velvet cake is actually chocolate cake. It's just, you know, the cocoa in it isn't it like mixed into something to make it red? But it's still it's like a lighter version of chocolate, kind of. That's kind of like this. It's like,
sure,
this is black. You never heard of that?
No.
Yeah, look it up. Red velvet cake is just chocolate cake. It's just less concentrated of cocoa.
Huh.
See, Chris, you learned something not on a podcast today. Good for you, dude.
That's an achievement.
That's big time. Okay, so what I'm seeing is that even when like down here, I don't need to wipe off the excess because it looks so even. With this up here, it looks good, but it still, to me, looks a little gray. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, it's not quite back to black.
Not quite 100%. And it may never get there. It could be way too far gone, you know?
You know what year this car is?
I don't. Old. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just throw another layer of this on here. And then what I'll end up doing is wrap up the live here in a second. But I just want you guys to, you know, with a car like this that has been neglected for this long, sometimes you, oh yeah, look at that. So it's still requiring some color restoration to this. And probably what I will do on this is put it on a little bit more thick, I would say, and let it cure for longer, right? I want as much of that color to go into the plastic as possible. Linseed oil is what it's called. Well, I know seed oils cause inflammation, so don't drink this stuff. That's like the big thing I see on all these like clickbait.
Also, just don't drink dyes.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a good
You
good
really
option.
shouldn't drink anything we make.
It's a good option too, but
We do not make drinks.
yeah, don't drink Adams Polish's products. I promise.
They smell good, but they don't taste good.
So if I could keep it looking like this versus like that, see the difference? This over here is more consistent with this. So like I'm not necessarily trying to make it jet black. I just want it to look consistent with everything else that it's next to. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So don't overthink it too much. But this second layer is actually, I think, is gonna really make it look a little bit better. So I'll probably come back here in just a little bit and level this off, and then tomorrow morning I will ceramic coat this.
Do you recommend applying this in direct sunlight? They said, Charles said, do you recommend applying your trim restore in direct sunlight? Some other manufacturers do.
Yeah, I kind of recommend it, to be honest with you. I'm using the power of the sun and the UV to pull the vehicle agent out of this, which I think is water. Because what I want is I want the vehicle agent to essentially flash off of there fast, so the dye like ends up working faster into the plastic. But I think it doesn't really matter. I mean, I think
It'll dry faster, but it's not going to be like a better black.
Yeah, but I would say that like if you're doing this in the spring where it's like there's pollen everywhere, don't do it outside, because any pollen or anything will stick to this right now because it's very like sticky material. So just be realistic with like the time of year and like the environment that's happening. You know, like, gosh, a week ago here, the cottonwood trees were it was snowing cottonwood everywhere. It was insane. I had it everywhere in my lawn, but I would not do that process if there was cottonwood stuff floating, like cottonwood seeds flowing through the air, you know? So yeah, I think like, and I also am like, I mean, I'm limited in space. So this isn't like necessarily a choice I made to do it outside on purpose. Come look at this really quick. You know, this is kind of like what I'm dealing with. I can't really pull a car in because Adams Polishes is growing and we have no space. So these are all like outgoing orders to different places. And so, you know, I probably, if I had the choice, if this bay was open, I would have done it inside. But because I don't have the space, you know, all of Adams Polish's products are fine to use outside. I've fully ceramic coated vehicles outside. I have to be realistic. Yeah, I just have to be realistic about my environment. And also, like, if I'm doing a ceramic coating outside, I work in smaller sections. Do like half of a hood, then do the other half of the hood, do a fender, then do half of a door, do the other half of a door. Like, just kind of plot my way around it versus like when I'm doing it inside and it's very much more temperature controlled and easier to use, then I can work bigger areas and feel safe doing it. So yeah. Well, you know, the thing about Black Trim Restore is it's hard to do on a live because it takes a little bit of time to cure. But you can see, like, as I did the second layer, I mean, it is just, it's going on much darker. So I feel a lot more comfortable with how the handle looks, with how the step looks, with how this plastic piece looks as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this cure again for, I think Scott said he has to leave at like 3 or 3:30. So right before he leaves, I'm going to come level this off, let him go home. Hopefully he doesn't get near any sprinklers or anything or any morning dew, which he shouldn't. And then tomorrow, if it's a little blotchy, I'll just black trim restore it again. And then once it's cured, then I'll put the graphene ceramic coating advanced on top of all of that. So that's kind of the plan. That's what you want to do. You want to put the most concentrated ceramic coating on top of this to help it, to lock it in for the longest period of time. And I'm not saying that if you put the graphene ceramic coating advanced on here, it's going to last 9 years. The 9-year thing is plus or minus a lot. Okay, it just depends on what it's exposed to. Like, I know that this car sits outside all the time, so it's exposed to UV more than a lot of different cars, right? So I have a different
in a garage when you don't drive it much.
Yeah, and I have an expectation of this, that like he needs to take care of this plastic. Like, I would almost recommend he reapplies the graphene ceramic coating advanced to this like every 2 years maybe. You know, like I don't know, it's gonna last longer than that, but like you just want to make sure you lock in this restored plastic for as long as possible. So I'll put the graphene ceramic coating advanced here. I need to clean this as well with tire and rubber cleaner. Graphene ceramic coating advanced here, here, and here. And then I need to also, you know, finish the rest of his car. But for now, I think that looks much better.
How many cars will one bottle of black trim restore?
You know, that's a tough question. Somebody asked, how many cars will black trim restore, essentially? It's hard for me to say because like a lot of cars have different amounts of plastic on them, you know? So like that WRX over there, like it doesn't have nearly as much plastic as this Saturn Vue. But like that car right there, that Lincoln, the whole bottom section is plastic. You know, so it just depends on, I would almost say that like on this car, I would be using probably 1/2 to 3/4 of this bottle. But also I know that like when I get to the cowl, like if you look at the cowl on his car, which is where the windshield meets the engine, essentially the hood, this is really faded. So I'd have to go over this twice, you know? So I know that this car is going to require more of the black trim restorer than most other cars because it's been neglected for so long. So
like if your car is 3 years old and it's only a little bit gray.
Yeah, and just also just to understand, like if your car is 3 years old and it's just a little bit faded and you clean it with tire and rubber cleaner and it comes back, like it starts to look darker, oftentimes you just put the graphene ceramic coating advanced over that and it will look perfect again. You don't even have to restore it, you know? So I would say this is definitely targeted. I would say, I wish I could put this on our website, but like we have certain products that are targeted to cars that have been neglected for 10 plus years. So, you know, when I say neglected 10 plus years, that's like headlight restoration. A new car would never need headlight restoration, right? Even a car that's 5 years old doesn't need headlight restoration, but a car that's, you know, 10 years plus will probably need headlight restoration. Any type of restoration product that we have, black trim restoration, headlight restoration, those are products targeted to cars that have been neglected for many, many, many years. So just like be realistic about it. You know, like on Usama's car here, I mean, this is probably not even a 10-year-old car, but like I would just clean the plastic and then I would ceramic coat it. I wouldn't restore the rubber or plastic on that car. So just look at your car first, kind of make and if anything, what I would do is like clean it with tire and rubber cleaner. Just like do a quick section. And when you see it, once you have cleaned the oxidation off, see what it looks like, then you can make the decision of, okay, I need to restore it or I just need to protect it. So indicators, you know, and just so you guys know who's watching, tomorrow morning, probably around 7 a.m. Colorado time, we're launching a new video, which is it's beginning polishing essentially. So it's like how to get your car perfect, but like beginning polishing for beginners essentially. But on Monday next week on the VIP, we have a VIP brand experience here at Adams Polishes. So you sign up for it. We're launching a video that is, I think the title of it's called "Listen Up, What is Your Ceramic Coating Telling You It Needs?" And that video essentially is like, when you do one thing, it's going to tell you if you need to use this product or that product. And then after you use that product and you do something, it's going to tell you if you need to do this product or that product. It's like a if this or that kind of thing, which is like a lot of car care to me is like, when you start doing something, the car starts telling you what it needs, you know? So like if you initially, like polishing is a great example of that. You start polishing with compound and a blue pad and the car is like, oh my God, this feels so good, but I have all these other deep damage that I need to get out. You right? So then you're like, okay, I need to switch to a microfiber pad, and then you do that, and then it's like, oh, you got all the scratches out. Now just like polish me up. Use white polish with a white pad. Like you do one thing and then you have to react and do another thing. So a lot of car care is like that. So that's kind of what I'm talking about with the restoring trim is like, clean it first, and if the color is not where you want it, then you need to restore it. If the color is still looking good and dark, kind of like this, then you just need to protect it. It's kind of like, which one do you need to do? So, and listen, I can't come to every one of your guys' houses. I wish I could, but I can't come to everyone's house and be like, hey, this is what you need. It would be kind of fun to do. We even talked about that, doing like a giveaway where it's like an afternoon with Joe, and like if you win, I'll like fly to your city, come hang out and teach you the stuff for your car specifically. And then when I leave, it's all up to you. Sorry, you know, but we've talked about doing that, which I think would be cool, but that requires me traveling and being away from my kids. So not all that appealing to me, but we might talk about it. Maybe like once a quarter, do like 4 times a year. Would be kind of sweet. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope today was helpful. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff, but you know, I hope that like the things I showed you are helpful to understand. And I mean, this turned out great. I turnaround on this was amazing. So, you know, next week we'll talk about how to prepare for a ceramic coating. So a lot of it's like certain processes and products that we'll use, but that was requested. So we'll make sure to do that next week. And then remember, put on your calendar, if you're local in Colorado, August 28th, Ken Wilson's going to be here. Probably some other people. We're going to do an in-person live video where we do different things. And I think what I might do is we can talk about, you know, cleaning a car that's on a road trip. But I think what I want to do is like, Ken, what is the one thing that you want to know about car care? Like, what is the one process that you're like, I just can't figure it out? And then maybe this person over here, Chris, what is the thing that you, and we can just like do different things. It doesn't have to be one whole thing. So that will be like a great, almost like a question and answer, or like a question, show you how to do it with an answer at the same time. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next week.